Hello and welcome to the first ever UEA CC podcast. I'm joined by Harry Kendal, club wicketkeeper, and Harry Thomas, club president. Guys, what does it feel like to be on the first ever UEA CC podcast?
Privilege.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't wait to get going. We've been talking about this since September, so hopefully lives up to
That's
it.
true.
Yeah, I think we
It's the
booked
way.
one in, didn't we, for the start of the year, and it has taken about 6 months for it to actually come to life, but here it is.
You meant to start.
We're getting for the World Cup, that was it.
You're only a couple of weeks late.
Yeah. Great, so we'll get into it. So the first thing on the agenda really is let's talk about the North Norfolk Indoor League. It's the talk of the towns. It's something that everyone wants to know about. It's the big one, the national finals that we got to. Forget about it. The North Norfolk League. So you've had 2 games, Harry. How's that going?
It's been mixed, hasn't it? First game, got off to a flyer. Who we played first week? It was Happensburg.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got 326, and they got about 170 odd.
326 in an indoor game is outrageous.
So I thought, well, what's a flyer here? League's ours. Gonna go all the way. And it sort of went a bit downhill last week. Sort of a bit of a nightmare. So yeah, 1 win, 1 loss is not too bad. Still not out the race for the title yet, but got a very tough game this weekend. So that goes.
Yeah, I think that second game sounds like it was probably one of the worst losses in UEA CC club history, which is it not fair to say?
I think performance-wise, it could be. I mean, fair at the end, we somehow lost by 20 runs, but I've not seen some of the fielding that day. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Like any like level cricket I've played, it was painful at times.
But the good thing about that competition, I guess, is that you're giving opportunities to people who haven't necessarily had much cricket for the university yet.
Yeah, I mean that's sort of the whole point of it. It's not really a serious thing. It's just a bit of fun. Yeah, it's to give opportunity to people that might not quite get the opportunity to play in summer or haven't in the past. Yeah, if we do well in it, it's nice. But it's just to say the taking part that counts.
How come we haven't seen Kendal in that yet? What's going on there?
Well, earlier on in the year, I said my commitments to a very high standard of Sunday League football, which might be Div 4 of the Sunday League in Norfolk. So I've chosen that I would be more available for them than the late start of the indoor league. But depending on how that goes, because I've not been picked for the indoor league, shockingly, for not indoor, so for South House, it will be my availability may change as the season goes on. But I'm slightly more available for. Are we doing like Sunday outdoor friendlies when we get into the actual season?
Yeah, that's the plan. So any clubs that fancy a game, get in touch.
any clubs
are watching this, yeah.
Yeah. Great, yeah, a bit of outreach there. So I guess a big thing that's happened in the last week or so is we set up fantasy cricket. So you can sign up with your team at ueacc.fantasyclubcricket.co.uk. £5 entry, all goes to a great cause of the club bank account. So we can buy some new pink balls.
Effectively, all goes to Dan Hughes.
Yeah, so that is brilliant. Boys, who is in your teams and why? Who's going to be the value picks? Who's overpriced? Call them out on this podcast. Let's get.
Oh wow, we can go at them, can we?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right, who's going first? I've got my team up now.
I've got mine up as well.
Go on, Kendal. Let loose.
Oh no, after
you go, Kendal, go. No, you go, pal.
Okay. It's chopped and changed a bit. To be fair, the fact that it counts for Derby Day first up is kind of scuppering my team around a little bit. I may need to activate a wild card after the Derby Day game. But at the moment, I've got Ben Ashford, aka Bashford. We're not very inventive with nicknames, but that's him. Thomas, you've made my team recently. You've got up there. My all-rounder is Oscar Torrado. Going to do an unbelievable job in the Scoobies, I reckon, or in the first team, wherever he plays. I think he's fine. He's it's a selection-ish risk. I've picked myself because, obviously, if you don't have yourself in the team, you clearly don't have any confidence. And then my 2 bowlers, I've gone for Lemon and Healy. I think they could both get some poles this year and might chip in with a few runs with a bat.
Interesting. Harry, any differences to Kendal there?
Yeah, quite different, to be fair.
I was going to say could probably have 6, yeah.
So I've got myself. Well, I've got the same 2 batters as Kendal. Got me and Bashford. I've also captained myself. I assume you've captained yourself as well, Kendal.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're in a fantasy game and you don't captain yourself, and it just sort of defeats the point of doing it. So
I do just think though that duck early doors on a Wednesday is just going to be rubbed in by a minus 40 pointer sat
yeah,
there on
but
your phone.
you got to take the risk.
Exactly.
It be more if you.
You don't go in there with a plan of getting a duck.
Yeah, it's correct. I've won 2 all-rounders. So I've gone for Dylan. There's my big money signing. And Wixie as well, Tom Wicks. I'm backing him to get runs the wickets the 2. So
Bungie's finest.
then wicketkeeper gone for Jay instead of Kendal. I couldn't spend.
Oh, has he gone?
Oh yeah, HT.
Yeah, and then bowler. Yeah, I'm there. Sorry, the Wi-Fi went a bit weird then. And then bowler. I've gone for you, Hoops. There's a toss between you and Kofi. It may change. I may take you out and put Kofi in.
Oh,
But
Kofi was a shout for mine just because of pure captaincy bias. He may end up just batting himself at 6 as well, just for because he can.
Yeah, look, I love the Kofi option, I've got to say, but that first week is a big one for me. I don't know whether he's going to get the game time. He's a minutes risk. He's sort of like he's a Mahrez sort of player, if you compare him to the Fantasy Premier League game.
Yeah, I think the thinking of Healy and Lemon is they both might play and they both might play well.
So I've got Healy. I've gone a bit different. I've got Will Ansell in there. Bit of a ringer.
Because you love this bloke.
We haven't seen enough of him, which is why at 5 mil he's going to offer serious value. Bashford, I think everyone's going to have in their team. I think it's fair to say. But then I've gone different. I started out with Dill, but then I looked at it and I thought that wicketkeeper bracket. No offense to Warden and Jay and J Dog, but it is looking a bit weak. So I might have to spend a bit more on Kendal. Get rid of Dill because I think there's a bit more value. You can get a guy like HT who's going to give. He's going to get minutes. He's nailed on to play. You know, I think I'm going to go that route, which I'm not sure I'm a fan of. I might bottle it before Derby Day, and I could be wrong. It could be like Kane versus Haaland and going with Kane over Haaland. But you know, I believe in him. But then again, he hasn't got me in his team, so I'm a little bit disheartened at this moment in time.
Yeah, that was purely on the fact that you mucked it up last year.
Yeah, that is true. You know, unfortunately that did happen. So
and
moving on quickly.
The pressure of Worcester in the indoor. When the pressure's there, have we got it in us?
Fair point. Well, I can confirm on the podcast, I will be triple captaining myself in the first week of the season. So
I love
if that works, brilliant. If it doesn't, oh well.
I'll wait for when we play Cambridge. I'm due some there.
Yeah. So in the game, then we've asked you who is your hidden gem, the Kaoru Matoma of the game? Who are you saying is going to have a worldie of a season out of nowhere?
I initially had Eddie Inyang as my one to watch at 4 mil. I thought he might get a few, but the problem with we've got so many bowlers now that it's a rotation risk. Hence why he's not got him straight in my team. But I think should he be available for all games, he might scream for some serious value.
Yeah. What about you, Harry?
That's the Wixie at 4 million is the one to watch.
Yeah.
I just believe in him.
You have a lot of faith in their flat.
He's a better batter than I realised as well. I just noticed last few weeks. So I think he runs the wickets in the 2s. So yeah, he's my 4 million as well.
Yeah.
He's a banker for me.
It's a good shout.
I've heard rumours that there's a Fakenham 2s versus Bungay 1s game on the first day of the season on a Saturday. So that's Wixie versus Bashford. So maybe that could be a good indicator for who's going to be a good fantasy option. I don't know.
No offence to either of those two. I won't be looking at that play cricket scorecard.
I'm free, but I feel like it could be a good battle.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it could be one for the ages in Norfolk Division 3. So, talking about you two and your club cricket this year, Harry, you've signed for Sprowston. How do you think that's going to go, and what's the team looking like there?
Well, I played a couple of games with them last year, but it was more of a emergency thing because I realised that I didn't actually want to go home to play last year. Well, and I just got dropped. But so I decided to join them relatively late, so I didn't get to do as much as I hoped. But this year, I'm going to keep wicket for them, and we're going to push up the league and try and win it.
Yeah, exciting stuff. And Harry, Thomas, you've signed for Great Witchingham, a team that I have just left in rage. You know,
Yes.
how excited are you to be there?
Yeah, I look forward to it. I played one game from last summer. Sort of a last minute thing. Got a message from John Joe asking, saying they needed a player. Yeah, they decided this year actually I'll play some Saturday cricket while I'm down in Norwich. Yeah, all seen top blokes. We got announced in the group chat the other day, so looking forward to it.
And Dad, you want to be real? You're all over it.
Yeah.
Great. So one topic, I guess, that's a big pressing one in the professional game at the moment is who drops out the England team when Bairstow is back. I know there's some varying opinions on this call now. So Harry, Kendal. I need to stop saying Harry because you're both called Harry, but Kendal, start us off.
Well, any suggestion that it should be Ben Foakes is absolutely ludicrous. He's the best wicketkeeper in the world, and he should be playing. The bloke who should drop out is the fella who's averaging 20 odd opening the batting, and Crawley, because he is absolute pony.
Okay, so what are you doing then? Who are you moving up the order? Who are you moving around?
Well, because Pope effectively opens because Crawley's useless anyway. Just move him up one. Fit Bairstow back in his number 5 spot. You may as well stick Brook at 3 because you can't move Root from 4, or do Bairstow for it. I don't mind any of them, but they all play the same way at the minute, apart from Root, who just does what he wants because he's Root. Pope, Brook, Bairstow all going to attack it anyway, so you may as well just leave them there.
Oh.
And then, if you look at Bairstow's average when he keeps wicket as well, by the way, it's dodgy. You don't want to hinder that arguably the best batter in the
Did
world
he
in
not
2022.
keep in the summer? I might be wrong, but did he not
No,
keep in the
Foakes
summer?
Foakes did.
Okay. Well, my opinion personally is you can't just be putting square pegs into round holes. If you need an opener and you're saying Crawley needs to leave the team, replace him with an opener. You can't go and just say Bairstow will do it or Pope will do it because he basically bats there now. Because you're moving Brook in your proposal, who's averaging 100 at number 4, or sorry, at number 5, up to 3. So why would you compromise that for this guy with some gloves when you could just put Bairstow there as our best batsman in the summer?
This guy with some gloves. That's disgraceful.
Do you want to elaborate, HT, or what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I like Foakes, and I think it's a mental. Like, if you go like a year ago, you sort of look at the back line and go, "Well, we've got Root, then who on earth are we going to pick now?" Whereas now it's like, "Oh,
yeah,
who do we drop?" But
and you're also buzzing because it's all
for me, Foakes is one that has to go for Bairstow. You make Bairstow keep. I think it's when you having Bairstow in your batting lineup is going to win more games than having Foakes in there keeping, especially in England. If it was in subcontinent, I think.
What do you mean, especially in England?
I think Bairstow's fine as a keeper. He's going to win you more games. I
completely agree with you. I think cricket is played on grass, not on paper. And Harry, you're just saying, let's move Brook up to 3. Let's make all these different changes just so we can accommodate Foakes. When actually the best decision.
So you go.
The best decision in my mind would be if you want to get rid of Crawley, but you have to bring in someone who opens the batting. If you want to bring Bairstow back in, one of that middle order has to drop out. Foakes averages the least runs. Foakes goes.
Foakes, to be clear, Foakes being just a batter is an absolute narrative that's got no base on it. The bloke averages 35 in Test match cricket.
Yeah, Foakes can bat, but he's not a better batter than Pope, Root, Brook, Stokes, or Bairstow.
But he is a better batter than Crawley.
But if Bairstow averages 60 and Foakes averages 35, which is the case at the moment, Foakes is not going to save you 25 runs in the field on an average of an innings.
But he might take that catch that gets someone out. He might do that stumping, standing up off a seamer that Bairstow can't do because he keeps like he's got no thumbs.
Yeah, but Bairstow's just whacked 120 or 50 rocks, mate.
Also, I don't know why this narrative that he's absolutely shocking keeper.
It's not a narrative. It's true.
You're the only person I've ever heard say he's an absolutely shocking keeper. He's not. He's a decent keeper. He's not as good as Foakes.
Not at
Foakes is
all.
the best in the world,
Good.
but he's not that bad of a keeper.
He's
He's
not
going to win you.
good. Anyone who actually knows wicket keeping, if you look at varying Twitter forums, wicketkeeper analysts, everyone goes, because he's such a good fielder. He's just a good fielder who wears a pair of gloves. That's all he is.
But I do think with the
when we were in the Ashes, when it was the Ashes last time, Bairstow and Buttler were both playing, and they picked Buttler over Bairstow. Butler's obviously clearly a better keeper than Bairstow, but the gap between Foakes and Butler's massive. Let alone the gap between Foakes and Bairstow.
Butler's not a better keeper than Bairstow, though.
Yeah, completely agree.
How come England thinks so?
Please, Johnny Bairstow has been messed around more than any cricketer in recent years. The amount of different places he's batted, and then keeping and not keeping, and then keeping again.
He was rubbish before this year.
He was, but I don't think it ever helped him. The fact that he never really had a solid and that's the issue. Then bring him back to the team and make him keep. Is he's done well at 5, then
without batting,
you bring him back in as keeper. He might then have to bat 7, but I think you have to get him back in.
Completely agree.
It looks ridiculously good. You have to have him in the team,
but when
you don't take out someone who's the best in the world at what they do. To sacrifice.
But you're bringing. But I think if you've got an order of Crawley, fill the gap if you need to. Crawley, and then you've got Duckett, Pope, Root, Brooke, Bairstow, Stokes.
Even then you're moving Bairstow. Your argument you said for Brooke earlier was a bloke average 160.
And also, I think
you're moving Bairstow averaging however many at 5.
I think
Bairstow opening Test cricket. I'll let you go, Hoops.
No worries. I think you're more scared of that batting lineup. When you see Bairstow in that middle order with all those other guys, you're thinking, oh my word. Any one of these guys can have a day here. You could have us 30 for 5, and we could still end up 300 all out, because one of those boys could go and face 100. If they face 100 balls, they've done you over.
I went to the Headley Test. I went to Headley Test this summer, England, New Zealand. It was the England collapse. And it was Bairstow out a massive partnership. He was just ridiculous that day. We had this collapse, and he still. I think it was just there to run the ball at his tongue. Look, there's a chance he'll come back in and doesn't do as well, but he was an absolute freak last summer.
He was, yeah.
And I think that on that first test in the Ashes in the summer, are Australia going to be more worried if they see the team news come out that morning that Ben Foakes in the team or Johnny Bairstow's in the team?
But I don't get this whole being worried thing. Obviously, that's more football-based than cricket. If you pick your best all-round team for cricket, it includes because if you look at the wickets that they've got even in the last test against New Zealand, however many times he stood up to the stumps, when Robinson got out, I can't remember who it was, but pulling off a short ball, that was because Foakes was up to the stumps and he had no room to move.
So
Foakes is making wickets.
I think Foakes scored 35 runs in that test match, yeah? He scored 35 runs. We lost by a run. If Bairstow goes and averages his 60, which he has over the last summer, then we win the game comprehensively, Harry.
Yes, but if you put him in for Crawley, we still win it by even more by that argument.
I think openings is
they also bat in different positions. Foakes is permanently batting with the tail end, so he has to try and twat it.
But if you're Johnny Bairstow, why would you're the best, you were England's player of the summer. Why are you walking back into a position that is clearly yours to have and yours to lose?
His worst position will be open because he can't. His biggest weakness is
I'm not
swinging
saying
ball.
Bairstow should open.
Who are you saying?
What you said earlier.
Pope's opening.
I said Pope earlier.
Who's never opened in his life? Pope, who's never opened in his professional career, is opening back for England.
Because Crawley's rubbish, he effectively opens anyway. The amount of times,
but it's purely psychological. That was the same argument for Root at 3 rather than Root at 4, and you can clearly see the difference in the numbers.
But when you look at the amount of times, either when it was Crawley or Burns or Duckett or Hamid, whoever it is who opened,
get Burns back in one player.
No, the amount of times Pope is in the first 5 overs of a Test match is not. It's not worth having a waste of space. Whoever that other opener is, over having. So you're telling me you would be more scared if you had Crawley, and I also don't think, by the way, don't think he's going to drop Foakes.
I'm dropping Crawley as well.
Yeah, that's not the debate here. You pick an opener.
You have a look at the start. Who's doing well at the start of the year in the Championship?
We've got no one else who can open. We've got a lot of number 5s.
You say that, but someone always scores runs. Like, I'm pretty sure Sibley averaged about 80 last year. Get him back in my side.
Like flipping Keaton Jennings went to
Well, they keep talking about that. Is it Tom Haynes at Sussex? Is he an opener?
Tom Abel. I think he bats middle.
No, not Tom Abel. Tom Haynes.
Bowler, I was going to say Tom Abel's a
bowler.
I
don't know. There's a lad at Sussex.
Honestly, never heard of him.
There's a lad at Sussex at the rate, so maybe if he has a good start to you, maybe.
Well,
yeah, I wouldn't want to bring Jennings back. I think Jennings is just a good county batter and very good subconstant. So I don't think he'll be right for the summer, but we'll see what they do. But
whoever opens a batting for either Somerset or Kent, they'll be playing.
Okay.
I think it's I also don't think McCullum will drop Foakes because he knows the value of a keeper. If he'd done that, he would.
But who's he drop? Who's McCullum going to drop then? If you're McCullum, who are you dropping?
Well, I've already said if I'm McCullum, I'm dropping Crawley.
And filling square. I think it's just too much square pegs in round holes. I honestly don't think you can just move the entire team around.
It's not moving the entire team.
It's keeper who might get you 1 dismissal every 2 test matches that Bairstow can't.
Yeah, but that dismissal could save you. Say Butler when he dropped Lavashane a couple of times.
It's not Butler. We're not talking about Butler.
But it's saying it's the importance of wicket keeping. Well, let's be clear. England think Butler is a better keeper than Bairstow because he is.
But you say this
when been keeping in the ODIs and the T20s, and he doesn't.
Well, you forget what did actually happen though, Kendal, is Butler got brought back into the side. Bairstow still keeping. They dropped Bairstow.
Bairstow played the games in the Ashes because he turned up at the.
No. So
this is a while back, a couple of years.
2018, Bairstow was keeping. Right. Butler came back into the Test side, then dropped him over the winter, brought him back in the summer, but they just kept Butler as keeper.
Because Butler is a better keeper than Bairstow is.
But that was just simply politics.
He is.
That's he's on the team to keep, so we'll keep him keeping. It's nothing other than that.
It's not. Foakes is a. It's.
So I can't remember. Second game.
Second is Air. Third is Air. 4 is Butler. I think 3 is Billings. Billings is a better keeper than both of those two.
I can't remember an England game where Bairstow's kept, so I thought, Bairstow's keeping has cost us the game today. Whereas in the summer, his batting won as many games. So it's like his keeper's going to lose you a game. His batting is, if he bats like he did last summer, it's going to win his games.
Keepers never lose anyone a game. They never lose anyone.
Right. So why are you keeping Foakes in over Bairstow then?
Because they can win you one.
But okay, so go back to that innings that Bairstow played in the summer where he went and whacked. I think it was about 150 to the short boundary at Trent Bridge, and you're saying Foakes is going to win you a game. That is literally winning the games.
By the way, I'm not saying Bairstow shouldn't play, and no.
But you're saying he should be batting. You're saying that people should be batting in positions that they've never batted before when they're thriving in their current position.
You're saying you're moving Brook though.
No, I got that
that's
wrong.
The same argument.
I would have Bairstow at 6 and Brook at 5. I don't.
Then you're moving Bairstow from his position. So what's the difference between what I'm doing and what you're doing? Then where do you?
Because you've literally shunted everyone up 1. You're saying, I'm moving Brook to 3. Where do I back Stokes? I think Stokes is in a weird position where he is going to bat 7. That is his role, and I think he has to bowl a bit more. But
he can't. He can't. He's done his knee in. Yeah.
Wish I knew that
before
I said it. Okay,
go
on then. So Harry, Kendal, even. I want your 11 for the first game of the Ashes. Now, no explanation. Just give us the 11. Come on.
Okay. Well, this is without me knowing if anyone emerges at some random point, so don't hold this against me. But at the minute, I'm going Pope, Duckett, Brook, Root, Bairstow, Stokes, Foakes, Brexit, Robertson, even Leach, Anderson, Broad.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Sorry, I'll change Broad. I'm going to change Broad for Mark Wood.
What?
Oh, first game of a summer in England with a swinging new ball, and I did forget it was in England. I thought we were there again, but no, yeah, Broad for Wood. Then I forgot we were in England. I do just think with that opening pair you've just put there, I think Cummins, Stark, Hazelwood will be like, oh,
You
I'll
could,
tell
you
you
could say
what,
that
if we
about
can get into
Crawley
that,
as well.
yeah, but Crawley's got he'll drive him about a bit.
Pope's
But
a
at
better
least when
batter than
Crawley
Crawley
gets
is.
out, but at least when Crawley gets out, you still have those same blokes who are doing so well in their actual positions that you're thinking, oh, it's chill. We've got Pope in. Oh no, Root's coming. Oh no,
I don't
Brook.
think you
Oh,
should.
Bairstow. Oh.
You may as well have like me open a batting in Test cricket then, as long as everyone's happy. Like what's
Harry, if you average 25 in Test cricket, I would happily give you my life savings. Honestly.
But you know what I mean. You're hindering the rest of the team to make. You're making the rest of the team happy, but you're just wasting one of the 11 positions.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Thomas, what's your 11?
Well, I'm sort of assuming that Tom Haynes has a good start to the year, and he's good. He's a real person. I've checked. He played for Lions. He played for Lions in the. He's got a century as Lions debut over the winter actually. So that's why I recognise them. So we had Tom Haynes and Ben Duckett, then Pope, Root, Brook, Bairstow, Stokes, and dropping to Stokes. Just because the way Stokes been batting, I'm putting down 7, putting Bairstow at 6, and then
So you're having our captain be
Robertson, Leach, Broad, Anderson.
Like it. So for me, I'm going to go for a differential because I hate Crawley. I'm going to go for Emilio Gay from Northamptonshire. He's having a year.
Oh my God.
Duckett,
Okay.
Pope, Roots,
Yep.
Brook, Bairstow, Stokes, Robinson, Broad, Leach, Anderson.
That's just ridiculous.
Thoughts?
It pains me. Well, first
I
of
mean,
all,
I don't
Thomas,
know about. I recognise the name of the Northampton.
Isn't he in like a Wii cricket video? Is that not him?
He may well be, but I think he's going to do it this year. I've got a feeling. And if it's right, I'm going to look like a genius, so I'll take it.
So Thomas and I think you have our captain and our best player, one of our best players over the last however many years, as a specialist 7.
Yep, sounds good to me.
The way.
Can't bowl.
Well, he's still might bowl a couple. We don't know what he's going to be like in the summer, but the way he's been batting, like he arguably out that middle order in that team, he's batted the worst out of all of them since he became captain.
He has,
because when he doesn't bat as well when he doesn't have to use his brain.
Completely agree. The amount of times he's thrown his wicket away. If he wasn't winning us games as a captain, he would actually be under a lot of scrutiny, I think, for the way he bats. Because he's absolutely thrown his wicket away.
Yeah. Like the only ton he's got.
He still won us the World Cup.
Yeah, because he had to use his brain.
You just
said
about
it.
Yeah.
The only ton he's got since being captain was against South Africa when we had a collapse.
Yeah, he's batted.
He's batted a bit smarter.
Yeah, he's batted like a muppet. But
besides that, he's gone too far.
He's one of the biggest runnable 30 candidates in Test cricket history.
I really, at the moment, despite the fact he's captain, I think he's misunderstood what they're actually trying to do batting wise.
He goes too hard. I think he sees it as a chance to go and show everyone an example of what they're trying to do. But the amount of times he just tries to clear the front dog and gets caught is excessive.
Oh yeah, he's batted dreadfully at the minute. But I also don't think I make my case as why I don't think McCullum will drop him. Do we have time for that?
Who are we talking about?
But I don't think McCullum will drop Foakes because McCullum knows the importance of a good wicketkeeper. If he'd had that before, he would have had other batters in and made Bairstow do it in the summer.
I do think though that Foakes was in really good form in this. If you look at it in the summer, like there wasn't
been in
many
really good form
batsmen firing.
anyway. If you look at it, he's been in good form with the bat for the last year. He's a good batter.
I don't think anyone's saying that Foakes isn't good enough to play for England. I think he's just unfortunate to be in a situation where he's got probably one of the best batting lineups of all time in Test cricket, form-wise, ever. He's batting ahead of him.
Okay, form-wise.
I think
you'd gone down to 10 Test matches.
They did, because I remember when Foakes got COVID and they brought Billings in because they said that they didn't want to affect Bairstow by making him keep because they worried it might affect his batting form. But that was before Harry Brook then came in. It was just being ridiculous. So,
to be fair,
I think that policy will change now.
We also don't know that Bairstow's going to come back and be the same. His injury on the golf course was quite bad. The fact that we're assuming he's going to come back in and just start absolutely whacking it.
Obviously,
I hope so, but I don't think he's. It's not a foregone conclusion that he's going to.
It's not. I mean, there's always it always is the chance that could be a purple patch, but yeah, he's done it.
I think
He's done it consistently for years now in white ball cricket. My hope is that he's sort of, this new regime has been perfect for him. He's basically had the pressure taken off him, just been told to get out there. I mean, that's what Bairstow's done better than Stokes, actually. He's been positive, but if you actually watch his innings, he's not being reckless. He's just playing proper cricket job.
Yeah.
Same as Brook as well.
Yeah.
No. Good debate, that, guys. Sorry, that's all we're going to have time for on that topic. Just quickly then, HT, game on Sunday in that North Norfolk League. Confident or not? What's the team looking like? Give us a bit of insight before we wrap up.
Well, I see the team will be out by the time this is being posted. I'm actually not fully sure yet what my team is. I still need to chase a couple of people, but if I could get a couple of people I'm going to be chasing up to play, I think we could still win. I don't know what sort of team Bradford we're going to look at. It's going to be a tough game. So yeah. But at the end of the day, as I said earlier, it was a bit of fun. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Great. Well, thank you both for being on the pod. First ever episode. We'll see how the backlash is for this one. If it's all right, we might go again. Get a guest on, maybe Jordan. But yeah, if you've somehow made it to the end of the podcast, thank you for listening.
Yeah, if you're still here, get alive.
But yeah, we'll hopefully do this again soon. And yeah, I think we're all looking forward to the season. And if you're interested in joining the club, please get in contact with the Instagram account and just let us know. Cheers, boys. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.